this is. Queen of two. First off, in the click.
Yo. We're live on US 94.7 Talkin' Country as we play Tupac Shakur.
Which is,
I just wanted that because it's all about making money here at Buc Days Rodeo down here in Corpus Christi, Texas. And live here at Brewster's down by the bay. I love this place. This place is amazing.
Right.
If you come to Corpus Christi, you got to schedule this in.
Yes, and it's right by Whataburger Field, which is just amazing. And this place is an open bar, not open bar, but the sides all open up. It's absolutely beautiful. The fans are going. We're in downtown Corpus for the Buc Days Rodeo, which is just a phenomenal rodeo. That is, if you never been, put it on your bucket list.
Yes.
Put it on your bucket list because it's absolutely awesome. I've been coming here. I first came to this rodeo in 2010 as a truck driver for Frontier Rodeo. And now look at what we got. The payouts are amazing. They give away surfboards.
Yeah.
Surfboards for the winter. And that is unbelievably amazing. Paying out all this money.
Well,
in
first
beautiful
place,
bank,
American Bank Center.
American Bank Center, which is a beautiful coliseum that is color coded to match the Buc Days colors, which is black and like a Monster Energy green.
Yeah, like a lime green. It's awesome. But like first place here pays $15,000. Second, $6,500. Third, $2,500. And today's guest, he's from a legendary family, and this has been a long time coming to get this guy on.
Yes.
And we're very happy. It finally worked out. We talked the other day, and we're pretty excited. I'm like, buddy, you're up. And we may just have him every day. Because you know why? We could fill 4 days. We could fill 4 shows easily with from the legendary Powers family, the grandbaby of the legendary Jimmy Powers, Sam Powers. Hello, Sambo.
How's it going, fellas?
Man, we're good, brother.
It's only one Sammy P. Never won before me, and there won't be one after.
You don't
Thank
know
God.
that. You don't know that. Sam is one of those guys that's never had a bad day. You ever see Sam upset? Never.
Nope.
I wake up high and I got to sit in the house for an hour for a leave just to come down.
I did that in college. Anyhow, great steer wrestler. And one thing I also like about Sam, as we start off the Sam Powers episode, is like, I always try to be very, very careful about, when I'm clowning. I don't want to, mess with the guys too much because they're obviously there to bulldog. And I never do before.
Yep.
But at the end, I've always, Sam one time, he was really fast. I think it was at Silver City, New Mexico. And he gave us, without even being prompted, he did like the halfway bulldogger dance, way better than Luke Branquino's, way better. And I was like, good Lord, you got to be kidding me. This dude is dancing it up. So then after that, if he has a good run, only if he has a good run, that is when I've said, Sam, you got to dance it out. So you've been there, and Sam will slam one and be like, all right. And he's like, no, you got to have the right music.
I know. He did that in San Angelo. You're like, I don't like that song. Boy's like, he doesn't like that song sound, boy. And I'm like, no, bullshit. He just doesn't want to. He just doesn't want bull crap. Sorry, we're live on the radio.
Oops.
Hey, Bobby. You were like, oh, man, you just didn't want to dance, and you threw me under the bus.
Got to have that bass. I don't always do good, but I always give everybody something to see.
You dropped it low this year, though. I played you some Notorious B.I.G.
I'm telling you.
And you got it.
So
you got it down.
So I tell you what, Sam.
But at Silver City that year, that was the year I fell off in the box before, and the announcer was like, this guy is so cool. And then they had to bring my horse back, and he's like, I don't know.
Well, you didn't. He reared over backwards. I don't feel like that counts as a falling off. If your horse rears over backwards and you slide off in the box, that does not count as falling off. I mean, but bulldogging horses are nuts.
Yeah,
Yeah, sure.
They're the barrel horses of the men's events.
When I used to go to when I was steer wrestling we were in San Angelo when it was in February years ago. We would go down there to Sonora, and everybody would stay right at Pops's place and run like 1 million steers and shoot dice until the sun come up.
I mean, you could be a bulldogger all day and all night and go hunting.
Yeah, hog hunting and stuff. But like your family truly is in the steer wrestling. And you look back at the great horses. We actually talked about some of those horses the other day. Yellow Dog,
Yes,
Bad
sir.
Motor Scooter,
Yes, sir.
and Jimmy Holland is up and down the road smoking cigarettes and rolling in the Scotty with the bumper pull. I mean, talk about your family's involvement, because it's a neat. You guys have come from a long, long line.
Yes, sir. My granddad, I don't know of a man who's helped rodeo cowboys more and give more to the association. But just anytime anybody needed anything or needed a place to practice or just wanted to come down and have fun. I mean, we've been there for since the 60s.
Yeah. Well, and that, yeah. Sorry about that. No more swearing. We're live.
You were the one that did that.
I did it. I'm sorry. So, I mean, talks about the ranch, though. I mean, that ranch has been in the family how long?
8 generations.
8 generations.
Yes, sir.
I mean, that's like the founding of Texas.
Yes, sir. Actually, they did it to keep the Indians away from Mexico. And there was a lot of times some of the great-greats back there had to use a gun to keep the land,
Yeah. I mean, that's back in the day where, I mean, just talk about taming the West, and your family did it.
I believe George Allison put a strip of land together from Menard to Fort Stockton for $1 an acre.
Wow.
And then the Myers is owned from Sonora down into Mexico. It's part of the Whiteheads, and
that's a lot of land.
And George Paul's part of the Myers family.
So explain that. George Paul's your mama's,
my dad's
or your dad's mother's
cousin.
Yes,
sir.
Dang.
Wow.
And we just got done with the George Paul, which was just amazing. Shout out to Sage Kimsey. We actually gave him a shout out in the last podcast, but it didn't get recorded somehow. Something busted.
I'm telling you, I have proof that I hit record on this machine, and it was red, and I have a picture of it, and we're going to find it. It's somewhere lost in the atmosphere. But anyway, back to Sam. But Jimmy was so instrumental in a lot of things. He was on the NFRC, which is National Finals Rodeo Committee. He was on that for a long time. He was
35 years.
35 years. Wow, I didn't know it was that long.
Yes, sir.
He was on the board of directors, correct?
Yes, sir.
For a long time. I always remember the first time, seeing Jimmy was always on that gate by the Bulldogging boxes, or the tournament boxes at the NFR.
Yes, sir.
That was Jimmy's gate.
And there's a lot of times, I mean, guys would get fined at the NFR, and he'd go back there and stand up for them and, try to make it right. And it just he's always been for the Cowboys, and he's a great man. Literally, he gave his whole life. He's the smartest man I know. He had full-blown dementia. We didn't even know it until he passed.
Really?
Yes, sir. Yeah.
I did not know that either.
How did you figure it out?
They did a brain scan right before he died.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Huh. Well, I was honored enough to come down and at his funeral. It was pretty cool to see all Sean Davis to, there were so many legends that were there.
Yes, sir.
Of rodeo that came to pay homage to him. So
thank you guys for everything y'all did.
Of course. And your family was so nice. They wrote me a handwritten letter, and it was very, very nice. But Jimmy, Boyd, our buddy Boyd, who's here announcing, he wouldn't be where he is today without Jimmy.
Yes, sir.
I mean, I loaned him money.
Well, I don't know if it's Jimmy or H, because he's my godfather.
Well, yeah. Well, I'm pretty sure it's Jimmy. Jimmy. The story goes that Jimmy, they were at rehearsal for the grand entry at the NFR, and Tallman and I can't remember who the other announcer was, but they were preoccupied with other things, and I didn't make it. They were a little late or something like that, and they had to go. And Jimmy and Boyd was there because Jimmy said, "Hey, come watch this," and he goes, "Here's an announcer right here." And so Boyd actually announced the grand entry of the NFR rehearsal, and the next year he was either alternate. Anyway, he was one of the 3 announcers.
Yes, sir.
At the NFR, pretty cool.
Just at the right place at the right time, and he's got a great voice, and it's kind of hard
he's
not
done
to
okay.
like that.
Do you have to say that because you're his godson?
No, I just love it.
So do you think that someday when Boyd passes, you will get all his money because he's just filthy, dirty rich?
Yeah. I don't care about that. I just really care about spending time with the people.
Shut your mouth. No, I'm just kidding.
I can't take that money with you.
Hey, you know what? You should actually hit Boyd up about that. Because every time when he doesn't have you, this is my godson, Sam Powers. You should walk up to Boyd and be really honest and be like, Boyd, I know you're getting a little bit older. Do you have all your things in line for when you pass?
I think
Wouldn't that be great if you made him feel so awkward?
I think I do a lot. I've made everybody in my life scratch their head a time or two. I'm not perfect.
Well, but you're pretty awesome. How did what was your first memories of Boyd? Like growing up?
I've actually got some pictures on my phone. I mean, he's hold me when I'm a little kid.
We're gonna need those.
Can we recreate that? You've seen like when families
Yes.
recreate family photos?
Oh,
he's
we have
actually
to.
got like kind of long hair and looks kind of scruffy.
Can I see the picture?
Yeah.
He's got long hair. Do you have two phones?
Yes, sir.
You got a ranch phone?
One for the business, one for the hose. My girlfriend gets really mad about that.
It's not a bad idea though. I mean,
So
yeah, we
just
need
going
to
down. I just kind of want to go down some of the stuff. We're here at the Buc Days Pro Rodeo and the WCRA World Championship Rodeo Alliance, and it's pretty awesome because this formula has worked. I mean, just this past weekend, we were going to have RC Landingham on tomorrow, but he's having surgery, so he can't be here. But he won $1 million.
Yes, sir.
$1 million. He won 3 events, 3 Triple Crown events, and won $1 million.
You know what I would do? If I won $1 million,
Holy cow!
If I won $1 million riding barebacks, I would take some time off also. Because you know why? Because you got $1 million. You don't need to go to, some rodeos for a while. Just hang out.
You don't have
get
$1 million.
healed
You got to
up.
pay taxes out of that. And I think I don't know if that's spread out or is that one lump sum. It doesn't matter. It's $1 million. But Sam here took home the BRQ Points Championship bonus, $25,000 cash. Now, silence that, Sam. That's a bottle of whiskey. It's a bottle of Crown. So anyway, $25,000.
Yes, sir.
So what do you do? Do you have an account like that's just a rodeo account? You just put that money on the rodeo account. So traveling, fuel, entry fees, stuff like that, it just goes in the account, or is just kind of whim it, just go on a whim.
Sir, honestly, I have a fuel card, and the rest of it all goes on the credit card, and it gets written off as taxes. But I don't know what it's like to be a NFR guy, but I swear every time I get a large sum of money, I end up spending most of it because everything it took to get there broke down on me.
Oh my God! Well, you two are kindred spirits.
But
you're wearing light blue shirts. You're terrible with your money. You and Rump are very similar.
I know when I won like 16 grand at A-Duddle's jackpot one year, and it didn't last long. Like I bought big screen TVs, and bumper stickers, and but you know what though? That's part of like rocking and rolling. Like, you think about this: if you win a lot of money and you're young, you're not thinking about long-term investments. You're thinking about what can I do with this money right now.
Yes, sir.
There was a deal that said, could you spend $1 million? Like I seen this deal on the internet. Can you spend $1 million? And it's all these people that were put in a position for one day, and you couldn't spend over X amount of money on certain things. I think I could. I think if you gave me $1 million in Corpus Christi right now, by the time they buck the final bull tonight, I could have zero in the account.
I guarantee it. I've seen you do it. But I don't know if you would. You're so. When I spent that $100 that you stole from Lon Danley.
Oh yeah.
And the poor kid's passed out, drunk in Vegas, and you take a $100 token.
Right.
And you cried about that. So I don't see you.
If they said though you had to spend $1 million.
Is it like Brewster's Millions where you had to spend what is it? Spend $1 million to get 100 million or something like that. Remember that movie with Brewster's Millions? No, gosh darn it. Anyway, go ahead. You still can't find that picture. It's okay. We're live on the radio, so pictures really don't do us much.
I just really want to see it for myself right there.
Yeah, we can get that. But
I really would like to thank, Matt Reeves for hazing for me, helping me get that, and Brian and Lisa Anderson for selling me that horse at Turbo that I was able to win that on it. You really can't do all this stuff without the help from people. Huh?
You're hitting the mic, Sam.
Oh, sorry. They don't call me Slammer for nothing.
That's right, Slammer. But 3 WCRA events, you've earned over $41,000, and that's only in 3 events.
I love it. Yes, sir. I went to 3 rodeos in 1 year and won that. I mean, you can't beat that.
So do you count every rodeo? Because this is one thing every year we try to explain the way this works. Because when our RümpChät people listen, they don't understand the whole system. But it's a pretty good system. Pretty much you're entering double at a rodeo.
Yes, sir.
So so what rodeos you been to this year?
Quite a few of them.
Do you count most of them, or
I try to count everything. I'm starting to get the point though where I check the draw before I nominate.
you can check the draw before you nominate?
Well, they draw an hour and a half before. You just have
So
to
you
get
can
nominated.
nominate right up before you nod your head.
Yes, sir.
That is amazing.
Huh.
I think
That's
that's the
handy.
best idea ever.
But if I've got a chance, I dang sure nominate, and especially since they give points for 10 places. I mean, you just can't beat that.
Imagine doing that in pro rodeo. You've been able to nominate. How handy would that have been, Bobby Moe, to be able to nominate right before?
Right before you get on the zinger at Greeley.
You wouldn't have nominated that one?
You
Bobby
know,
Moe, president, WCRA in the house.
but things have changed. Things, in rodeo continue to change. And I think for the better when you look at the $1 million that paid out. I mean, different opportunities. Because like you said, things are so expensive.
Yes, sir.
And I think about that like just being a rodeo clown. And, okay, so what fuel cost? Because you figure right now the cheapest fuel you're going to find is $3.19 a gallon. And you're pulling a big truck and trailer. I don't know what the one time you weren't pulling a big truck and trailer, you had a white Ford pickup and a 1-horse bumper pull.
Yes, sir.
You
My
slept-
granddad built it.
I come out that one morning, it was 104 degrees and
That's
32,000 flies, and Sam's in the back seat of it sleeping.
I remember you telling us that.
Yes, sir. I love it.
I took a picture of Sam in the back seat because I was like, they got the big multi-cam rig, and it wasn't there. Sam was literally sleeping in the back seat of a pickup.
Put my bedroll out, and I was ready to go. I was a real roughie.
Yeah, but
My bedroll.
but if you think about like the average contestant, truck right now, new Ram truck, $85,000. A living quarters horse trailer is going to cost you probably at least $125,000. So they're your dang near to $200,000.
$125, maybe for a stock trailer.
If you buy some of the top end trailers, it's $256,000
Yes, sir.
average. You put 2 bulldog and horses in the back, man, like it cost a fortune. But somebody once said that rodeo was like a drug. Like people who do drugs find a way to get the money to do it.
Yep,
And rodeo contestants are a lot the same way.
100%.
Like at Guyman, over 1,000 contestants last week.
At an 8,000
That's
added
awesome.
rodeo.
1,000 contestants. And if you look out in the parking lot, there wasn't a steel bumper pull trailer to be seen.
Yes, sir.
So like what do you rodeo in? What's your rodeo ride?
I have a 4-horse, 4-star trailer, and it's really great. Split axles. I love it. But anytime I can jerk out the 1-horse and my pickup truck, I love that. Even if I have to spend a couple days in it. The only weird thing is I'm big enough now. I don't really get to get around in the back seat very easy. I really wish Ford would make a pickup truck where you lay the back seats down so you could have more room. They should look into that. But
Come out with the old
You can get those
slammer
air
series.
mattress that like it's an L shape that goes, just
Yeah,
get
sure.
you your big old air mattress and air that up. Just
uh,
rodeoing.
I've got my bedroll. It's got a 6-inch foam pad, and man, it's really nice in the back of that seat. I get 2 coolers, and I put one at one end and one at my feet, and I've got a full-size bed right there.
Is the coolers full of beer?
Anything.
Anything you want to keep cold, Tommy boy.
But what's the rodeo in North Louisiana, Spring Hill to Amarillo? I do that dang near every year, and I beat everybody that is pulling a normal-sized trailer by at least an hour just because you can go so fast.
You ever-
You're
One
hauling
horse.
butt.
Do you ever get in and go rodeo with other people?
Yes, sir. Right now I'm rodeoing with Cody Jang and Matt Reeves and Shade Etherton and a couple of guys that live with him. And I mean, anytime I get a chance to do that, I dang sure get in on with them. But if I have to go by myself, I have to go by myself. I'm not afraid,
Well, we've said that several times. Like steer wrestlers are different than any other group in that they will put 10 people in a truck and trailer.
Yes, sir.
And your granddad did that. He always had a group.
Yes, sir. That Scotty, I mean, there was 8 beds in that motorhome, and I mean, they were full.
Yeah, but he was hauling like Duhan and those guys,
And Mike Smith, like he had some weight on it, but when, like Bob Tallman said at his funeral, when they got there, the winners had arrived.
That's right.
Somebody was going to draw good.
So you talked earlier just a little about NFR stuff. Have you ever really just bear down and said, I'm going to go as hard as possible? Because I've noticed from knowing you that, a lot of time we don't see you in the Northwest, or, maybe not going to rodeo hard as some people, but do you ever just say, you know what, this is the year I'm going to go?
Sir, I haven't. We ranch, and I've always tried to take care of those ranches. In the past couple years, my granddad's been dying, and I've been with him. Last summer, I went to the horse races with him the whole month of July in Ruidoso, and that was the most fun because I got to go down to Bryan's, which is 30 miles away, and practice, and then we go watch the horse races on the weekend, and just things I'd never get back,
Exactly.
And I'm only 20. I turned 29 today. Today's my birthday.
Hey, happy birthday.
Yes,
It's
sir.
Sam's birthday.
Sam's birthday.
Let's give him a round of
You're only
drinks.
29?
Yes, sir.
Holy shoes.
Yeah, don't say it.
Holy
But
shoes.
We're live on the
You're a
radio.
child.
US 94.7, Talking Country.
You're a child at 29. Sam, I don't mean to sound rude, but you've been around rodeoing for so long. I thought you were 30 at least.
You really have. It's like you. You've been around rodeo forever, but you are in your 40s. But
I'm 45.
I mean, you're not even 30 yet.
Yes, sir. I mean,
So you've got all the time, and I'm glad you took that time because you'll never get that again
yes, sir. And then
with
plus,
your granddad.
I've been around Matt since 2015, and I do believe you have to be around a good group of guys to succeed, especially in rodeo. But I always figured when I was younger, the steers are getting smaller. But when I was younger, I had to compete against Dean Gorsuch and Jason Miller. An 18-year-old man is not in any shape or form, fashion as strong as those guys.
They are.
But
And the nicest guys in the world.
yes, sir. They were great.
Dean
But,
Gorsuch.
And Jason was at Jimmy's funeral, and it was great. I haven't seen him forever.
Yes,
Jason,
sir.
and he was a great champion, and just still a monster of a guy. Still just huge.
What's
Yes,
he,
sir.
Not fat, just huge.
What's he do now?
He just ranches. He's actually lost quite a bit of weight, and he's doing great. Just ranches there.
It'd be easy
in
to lose
Douglas
weight when
and
you're not rodeoing.
Lance Creek. Yes, sir.
Yeah.
I mean, you think about rodeoing, steer wrestlers especially. Every town you go to, the steer wrestlers have a restaurant or a spot
Yep.
that is you may not have any money, but you'll go spend $50.
Sugars in Logandale. Was it Sugars?
Yeah. Sugars in Logandale, the Butcher Block in
Denver.
Denver.
Western Skies in San Angelo.
Yes,
Of
sir.
course,
The
everybody goes
grill.
there.
I mean, there's a whole lot of places in Angelo that are
Yeah.
good.
So when you first started steer wrestling, did you feel pressured because your family was involved with it, or is it something because I always wonder that with different people, because in my situation, I always wanted a rodeo. I don't remember wanting to do anything else, but there was never any pressure on me from my parents. As I was like, man, this is what I want to do. And you grew up in the business too, so I mean, did you ever feel like I got to do this, or you just
Pressure?
want to?
I always wanted to steer wrestle, but the first day I was going to jump off the horse, I'd thrown him my whole life on the ground. But my granddad goes, "Here's the horse." He handed me the reins, and he goes, "If you don't get off, we'll just put the horse up." I didn't know you could ride by for a week.
I learned a lesson early on too, because I love bulldogging. I was never very good, but it
A
was
lot of
like-
people said you weren't very good yet.
No, I wasn't, but I love doing it, and I'll never forget the first clean run I ever made. Clean run was at a high school rodeo,
Yes, sir.
and I mean it was in Iowa, so there wasn't the bulldogging haven, but still, I remember one time practicing. I go to get off, and the steer kind of left me. I thought, and my dad was hazing, and I go, I can't say it because we're on the radio. I go, blankety blank, Dad, which I can't believe I said because you really don't cuss my dad anyways.
Yes, sir.
And he threw the bat at me, which a bat is a whip. It's not literally a bat.
shillelagh.
It is a piece of nylon rope folded in half and E-taped.
Yes, sir.
And he says, son, you never yell at your hazer.
You know, I don't know about you guys' dad, but my dad will still miss a haze or something, and he'll just come back smiling and go, well, what happened? You know, he didn't do anything wrong.
Is it kind of like on Tommy Boy when he rips the door off and, what'd you do?
Yes, sir.
Did you guys just run like, when you first started steer wrestling, I mean, the place there in Sonora, always steers there. Did you guys run steers just nonstop?
Well, sir, we had the steers that Steve Duhon ran, and then we had the other steers that everybody else would run.
Really?
What's that mean?
Yes,
Expand
sir.
on that.
Mr. Steve liked to practice on some 8-weight, 9-weight steers, and then he would always keep.
He means 800 or 900 pound, which is huge. What's an average steer nowadays?
475.
maybe smaller than that. I don't know.
Wow.
But everybody else got to practice on the 5 and 6 weight, 100-pound, steers. Or you could run the big ones, but that's where you get your technique from. You know, you can't really manhandle one of those. I mean, he could. He's an athlete.
That's another steer wrestler we need to have on, Steve Duhon.
That would be awesome.
Yes, sir.
Steve and Mike Smith and those guys, when they would go to the time event at Lazy E, they were always my favorite ones to watch.
Yes, sir. Anytime a big guy that is really athletic like that people don't know, do great, there's always a celebration.
Well, you rope too. Have you ever thought about trying to get in the time event at the Lazy E?
I would love to.
Really?
Yes, sir.
What? Well, why haven't that happened yet? We need to make that happen.
I know.
Is there a process?
He enters in the double mugging twice in Angelo
Yes, sir.
at the Fiesta.
I would love to do that. I'm actually fixing to go and learn how to trip, but
Duhon.
Steve Duhon's going to be here tomorrow. Sam Schaffner, and is that part of the Schaffner crew, like Jacob and all
Yes,
them? That's a bulldogging family too.
yes, sir.
The Schaffners. Okay. Well, can we get a hold of Steve? Okay, let's get him on tomorrow. Oh
I'll
my
give you
God,
his number.
Steve. I'm already nervous.
Me too.
But
I remember. Yeah, go ahead.
I would love to do the timed event. That's really the only reason I keep doing all the other events besides just steer wrestling.
Hey, Randy.
That'd
Get
be
another
so
round?
awesome.
Thank you.
So I want to,
That's Randy.
a part of these deals that we do on RümpChät here, especially here in rodeo, we don't always get to know the contestants, and you hear the normal interviews, and I think about sometimes I read online where people, they really like a contestant, but they don't have a clue, who they really are.
Yes, sir.
So now let's go into some questions unrodeo related.
Let's go.
All right. Just so we get to know Sam Powers, WCRA Cowboy, a little bit better. Now, I want you to really get into these answers. Don't be afraid to expound. Is expound a word?
No, expand.
Expand your horizon. All right, Sam. Here's question number one.
You're not going to play Sudoku with Rump, so don't worry about it.
Question number one. To get to know the slammer. If you had to be on a deserted island for 2 years, you have all the water and the food you need, and you could only take 3 people to be on that deserted island, who would the 3 be and why?
Do they have to be real people or could they be pretty women?
No, they got to be real people.
Oh,
you don't
okay.
have to know them.
Well, yes. It could be anybody.
That's a tough one. I would probably go with Steve Duhon, David Egg, and Dean Gorsuch. I don't think you could have a bad day with those 3 guys.
Could you imagine Dean Gorsuch on a deserted island? Hey, guys, I saw a fish today. That's pretty cool.
Yeah,
the most optimistic
The
dude
most
ever.
positive person you could have.
He'd be like, "There's a shark, getting it."
and then he would pull the shark's teeth while in the water, and the shark was in a headlock.
Now,
Yes,
Sam,
sir.
but you're going to be there for 2 years. You want to take at least one lady with you? Or, like, what are you and Duhon going to do when you get bored?
Well, sometimes silence is worth its weight in value in gold.
Hey, Benny told you that at Austin.
Oh, yeah, several times. All right, Sam, so when you're rodeoing, and part of rodeoing is just traveling, So on RümpChät, we've established that me and Bowen are rockers. But, however, I've really enjoyed lately some of the old prime country. But Willie Nelson turned 90, which is a real testament to the human body.
You ain't
So
lying.
when you're going up and down the highway and you're going to these rodeos, what are you jamming to? What is your musical genre?
Well, when I'm not listening to RümpChät,
Yes, that's a
yes.
perfect answer.
I really like some Waylon Jennings or like some classic rock.
When you rodeo with Matt Reeves, what's he listen to?
We're getting
NPR
The
radio.
the tires hum on the highway
Colin Cowherd.
Oh, is he that guy?
No, well, I mean,
himself.
When I rodeoed with Shane Henderson, it was straight talk radio nonstop, and it just bugged me to death.
yes, sir. We do listen to some music, sir. It's really good.
I always wonder that, like when you see the different rigs that are rolling right now, like the Wagaspack and Tyler Pearson, because it doesn't seem like they would listen to music. It seems like they would just listen to other people talk about bulldogging. And like,
You know, honestly, the older I get, the more we talk about that stuff, and I really think it helps. You know, when you're a kid, you're worried about headbanging and getting there. You know, and
that's what I do now.
Every
I'm
day,
40. What are you talking
every day
about?
at the office, I listen to Fox News Radio.
What do you
every day at the
you
office.
do?
But,
Well, yes, it's until like the second hour, and then
I'm Josh
whatever.
Hilton. I'm Josh Hilton. I'm an old man. I don't enjoy anything.
Hey, son, can you get those?
But you know, honestly, the people that you get to rodeo with are, you know, there's just no value to how much they're worth because they really help you out, and you're sort of like family. You know, you get in one of those trailers, it's 12
Thanks,
foot
Randy.
short wall. You know, you're pretty much married to everybody.
Yeah, everybody. When I rodeo, when I steer wrestled, I don't know if you remember that, but a lot of people don't remember that, which is crazy because I mean I steer wrestled till a few years ago, and
I remember when you used to do in the clown act, get on and want to run them.
yeah,
Yes, sir.
yeah, I was.
Yeah.
I was the fast time at Lubbock, Texas, 4 years ago with my clown gear on.
Yes, sir.
You know, but a lot of people don't remember that, which is kind of frustrating. But I mean, that's the way it is. Like I've
You
had
almost
people.
got your leg ripped off at San Angelo. Your shoe went through the stirrup.
Yeah, it did.
You know,
Because
we
you
have
were
a
riding,
lot.
you're riding Jeremy Willis's pickup horse.
Nobody would give me a mount. The only person that always gave me a mount, and actually right here in Corpus Christi, about died from it. I got on a horse in 2016. I got on Tommy Cook's bulldogging horse, and he did not stop the bucket shoots. And I did the old
You got on
Ronnie
it-
Fields.
You got on him at Eldorado days.
Also. It's the same horse. When I did it at Eldorado days in Las Vegas, I didn't want to do it. Boyd put me up to, well,
And
he
it was
didn't put me
old
up.
school bulldogging where they have a blinder on the headstall.
Yes,
So
sir.
Old school.
So Boyd's like, how many people want to see the rodeo clown run a steer? Everyone's like, yeah. And then Tommy Cook's riding by, and you know, Boyd's like, hey Tommy, can he ride your horse? And he's like, sure. Oh crap. So
Oh,
I get
no.
on here. Well, the first at Eldorado days, the steer stopped. I mean, did the old nod and stop. And I am pulling for all I'm worth. And I'm wearing clown baggies and tennis shoes. We get to the buck and shoots, and I mean, just absolutely eat it.
You know, you're a lot like me, sir. We don't always do good, but we always give everybody something to see.
Exactly.
That's right. They selling tickets.
Yeah, you ain't lying.
We did that. Then we did the steer wrestling act a couple times where it worked. I would do a deal, and you know what? I actually would like to bring it back if I could find the right person to do it. But we've done it before where I put a bulldogger in the stands and make him be the rowdy fan. There's a kid from Nebraska, Richard, that rodeos with Justin Noakes.
Jake Trujillo did it one year at Odessa.
Jake did it.
Mhm.
Funny thing about that was, do you know who came up with that clown act?
No.
Oh,
With a
got it,
bulldogger
got
act,
it, got
the
it,
old
got it.
switcheroo, was CJ Aragon.
Yes, sir.
CJ
There's
Aragon.
a name drop.
Well,
Yeah.
but I'm telling you, CJ Aragon is the guy that said what you should do is he's the one that brought Jake Trujillo.
He's a coach in my alma mater now, Sol Ross.
Yeah. So CJ's the one that, and I feel bad because CJ is one of the best dudes ever, and I've never really given him any props for it. So he brought the steer
Yes,
because they wouldn't let us run an extra steer because of the runs. So CJ shows up at Odessa with a bulldogger and a steer.
sir.
And so we put Jake in the stands, and so like the whole day, Jake is the whole performance. He's drinking beer and talking crap, and you know, I'm like, you know what? You think it's so easy? Why don't you come out of the stands and run one? And like the crowd went wild, and we told everybody, but one person on the rodeo committee flipped out. They're like, you cannot let him get on a horse. I'm like, shut up, just go with it. Then Jake gets on and runs and slams a steer. Then when we did it at Lubbock, we switched spots, and I ran the steer off. And CJ, I really should have probably paid him something because he brought a steer and a bulldog and horse.
And you didn't pay him nothing.
I think I told him I was going to give him some. I don't know. I'm going to, CJ, if you're listening to the college finals, you will receive a RümpChät podcast hat patch free of charge.
That's the size of a quarter.
You know what, though, Sam? At some rodeo, we should do that where me and you do the, oh, my gosh. Well, you look thinner than me, but you know how cool that'd be if I've painted your face, you wear the exact same outfit, and I go, I'll run a steer, and I go behind the box,
God,
and then you walk out in my.
I don't mind playing Bandy the Rodeo Clown.
Why didn't we think of that at Angelo? Dag nummit.
Uh,
Hey,
we-
let's we should do it here. I should do it here.
Well, I think Sam's got more important things to worry about here than rodeo clown. Well, I don't know. Rodeo clown stuff's
After
pretty.
he runs. It's
It's
kind of one of those you hope is.
We don't
Run
do it
goes
for
well.
the money. We just do it to say we beat them every day.
Have you seen?
That's right.
Have you ever seen the clown act when Keith Isley did the bronc riding act in Rapid City?
Yeah.
and he
I've
had
seen that.
Louis
Yep.
Bronson.
Yep.
Louis Bronson dressed up in the exact same outfit, and so Keith goes. He's like, "I'll get on a bucking horse. Well, come do it, Keith." So he goes behind the chutes, and then up pops Louis, and Louis's got, I mean, the full face paint, the red hat. Actually, Louis looked. I mean, if you're not really zoning in, you would never know. And he got on that bucking horse and spurred him. And then Louis jumps off and he goes running back to take his chaps off. And then Keith jumps over the fence. And everyone's like, oh my gosh, Keith Isley is a legend. When I did the bronc riding act in Corpus Christi, I actually got on a bucking horse and
Yes, you
got
did. An NFR bucking horse.
slammed.
The last one you got on.
No, the last one I got on was in Caldwell.
Oh, yeah.
But I got on a bucking horse here in
Bear or saddle bronc?
2013. I got with a stock saddle. I got on with a stock saddle, and
Yeah.
on radio I can't tell you
His
the
huevos got
details.
crushed.
But I was in a storm. But it was pretty awesome because that's the thing. Like I always want to tell contestants, like me and Hambo both, we are rodeo fans. We love rodeo. I love watching rodeo. I love being a part of it. But we also
It's in the blood.
I also understand the entertainment factor, and I think as we move on with rodeo in the future, that everybody's got to understand that. The factor that, man, we want to salute our champions, but we also got to have Joe Average on the front row that wants to come to the rodeo and drink beer and have fun.
Exactly.
There's a lot of people that don't know the contestants, and one thing that I like about the way that we do it here with the WCRA is we get to know the contestants, because if you think about other sports, basketball, baseball, football, you can kind of, like I like the Kansas City Chiefs, big Patrick Mahomes fan. And you can see different deals with Patrick, and you see him on, you feel like you kind of get to know him, where I think where we've kind of failed in rodeo is, and it's getting better now, obviously,
Yes, sir.
with different TV opportunities and, with CBS shooting, and other places that film. But, you're kind of getting to like where you can pick a character or pick a guy. Like, man, now I can be a Sam Powers fan. I heard him on RümpChät. Man, he sounds like a cool guy, because in the past, you think about it, the average rodeo fan sees that person in the arena for what, a minute?
Yes, sir.
And then that's it. So
That's
they may
it.
not know anything about you,
Yes,
you
sir.
know? And so I think that's one cool thing that we get to, or start to bring to the plate a little more, is building more of the fan base and being able to intertwine that with entertainment.
The Cowboy Channel and everybody has all done a good job at really, and CBS for
Yep.
getting us out there. They
Yeah,
follow
and-
everybody around, and I mean,
and-
it's almost, there's literally people that watch at home, and it's like they know you.
See, I'll give credit to PBR, and Ride Pass and what the PBR's done over the years, because you have those guys, right? Those same, not the same all 45, but generally mostly the same guys at every event. That's one thing that they have, a luxury that rodeo doesn't have.
Yes,
you
sir.
know, you may be entered somewhere, or Stetson Wright may be entered somewhere. Well, he visible injured, or turned out. So it's hard to promote that they're going to be there, and then people get there They're even in the program, but they're not there.
Yes.
So it's difficult. That's a hard thing that we face. Now, when you go to a Chiefs game, you know Patrick Mahomes is going to be there, or it's already broadcast that he's on he's injured. He's not going to be there.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
right.
saying? That's a difficult spot that our sport has to navigate through.
Although if it's only, if it's like the short go or it's one head, I don't know a cowboy that wouldn't get on and go, I'm going to try it, no matter what it is. I mean, look at J.W. Coop.
Yeah. You never know, though, because, I mean, look at Casper. Casper, Wyoming has a short go. But guys will turn out a Casper short go, and they may get, be on somewhere else because they may be able to chance to win more money because the short go, they may be down far enough that they know they're probably not going to win it because they can look at the draw, rough stock guys, i.e. rough stock guys.
Yeah.
They can look at the draw and go, okay, well, Casey Fields got this horse. Well, I know he's going to be 87 plus. I've got this horse. I'm only going to be 84. I'll stay here and maybe have a chance to win better money. It's a tough waters to navigate in this sport.
But it's sort of like what Jimmy Cooper told his father-in-law. They were sitting there when he told his father-in-law he's going to get married, and he goes, well, what about Roy? How are you going to beat Roy? I mean, he goes, well, sir, they pay second and third too.
Yep.
I mean, if guys looked at it like that, they pay second and third, and it still pays pretty good. I mean, it's about, look at Mike Johnson. He never won a first place check that one year and went to the finals.
Yeah. No, you're right.
The whole year, they were like, he didn't win any major rodeos, but he was in the top 10.
And what would it take to make the NFR National Finals Rodeo for our listeners who don't know? It's the Super Bowl of our sport. As far as the PRCA, now obviously we have the WCRA. There's so many more avenues to bring in big time dollars into Cowboys' pocket, and I love that.
Yes, sir.
Because I'm just an advocate. Nobody's against anybody.
Well, the good
what I mean? As far as an alliance, an association, doesn't matter. I mean, the WCRA put $1 million in the Cowboys' pocket. It's put $41,000 in your pocket in 3 events.
Yes, sir.
In 3 events. So it doesn't matter as long as we're paying cowboys and cowgirls.
Well, I mean, some of the rodeos, I don't care if they're amateur or pro rodeos, but they still pay the same thing that they did in 1980. And thank God we have things like this that really make it worth it, where you can get ahead, because that helps nowadays. Everything's gotten a lot more expensive.
Well, it's a perfect for a guy like you that, like you said, you've got a huge – how many sections do y'all got?
About 60.
60 sections.
Wow.
Now, for those of you who don't know, how many acres is in a section?
642.
So 642 times 60. Do the math.
Hold on, I'm going to get the calculator out. Keep talking.
I
mean, we ain't the
642
King Ranch,
times
but we ain't too shabby.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, the King Ranch has kind of got everybody.
642 times
60
38,520
acres. Now, it takes a lot in Sonora, Texas.
You can
to
make
run a-
horses fast.
Yeah, because, I mean, what's it a cow-calf pair? Do you run
20
cattle or you all just
Cow-calf.
cow-calf?
It's not really set up to yearlings, but it's about 1 cow-calf per 20 acres.
So 20 acres,
Hold on,
basically, for
hold
those
on
of you who
here.
don't know, 20 acres it takes per cow. So if you have a cow, say you got 100 cows, you got to take 20 acres times 100, and that's how many it has for that sufficiently to be grazed.
So you could have 1,926 cows on that ranch.
And that's a lot.
We have what?
That's a lot.
Oh,
About
there's no
2,000.
way.
Yeah, no way.
Up
Sam.
to 2,000.
Yes, sir.
I don't like to throw numbers around.
What I'm just saying is,
Yes, I
this
do.
is the WCRA is set up for a guy like you that's got a big ranch to run
Yes, sir.
and to go and rodeo and win big time money and not have to hammer it up and down the road at every little $2,500 added rodeo. I mean, this gives you guys a chance to win real money
Yes, sir.
and be
It's
eligible
great.
for $1 million
Well,
at the end of the Golden Brick Road.
really helps a guy who lives down the street who don't go a whole lot to really get on a big stage. It's really awesome,
What would
Yeah.
you do if you won $1 million? What would the first purchase you would? And it can't be something like I'd pay off a note.
Sir, I'd probably take all my friends and have a big party, Bad Company style.
Oh yeah. Hey, speaking of which, I me and Ham are going to be an event in November
Yes, sir.
that is going to be the rockinest show
The best
Rockinest
jackpot.
you will ever
steer
go
wrestling.
Yes, sir.
to. Tell us about your November, the party jackpot that's coming at you. And
Sir.
you know what? Before you start talking, sorry to cut you off,
You're good.
but you know what? I want people to come. If you are not a bulldogger or anything, come to party because this is going to be something else. Just from what you've told me so far.
There's going to be a whole weekend of it. We're going to add 30,000 to the steer wrestling, and it's gonna be-
30,000.
30,000 to a jackpot,
Yes, sir.
which you put that jackpot and VRQ, which for those who don't know is virtual rodeo qualifier. You put those VRQ points towards this.
Yes, sir.
Woo, son.
I'm getting it WCRA approved and American approved, hopefully. And then we're going to have a goat rope. You're going to run 4 head, 2
Is
a day.
the goat roping WCRA? No.
Bobby could enter that one. It's team roping, you know.
Yeah, he's a team roper now.
But it'll be a foot go roping, and we'll do that after the first 2 steers you run on Saturday. And then that night, I've already got a couple acts lined up. We're going to dance and have a good time and just party as hard as we can. And then Sunday, we're going to wake up and we're going to run 2 more head and finish it out and crown a champion. We may
All right.
have some double mugging. We ain't
Whoa.
got nothing going on Sunday.
Hey, now, okay, all right. Now my mind's spinning. Okay, now are we going to do this old school? We're going to get big cattle?
Sir, I'm gonna try to find the best cattle I can.
That's all that
honestly.
matters.
And you know what?
Yes, sir.
Honestly, I want you to talk about that. Finding cattle's tough.
Yes, sir.
Nobody's wanting to buy, like, it's not a $450 a ton hay.
They're only
Well,
they're only coming out of the state of Chihuahua, I believe, and they're like
There's-
1,200.
yeah, so 2 of the states that got the best, that most of the steer wrestling cattle came, when you say states, we're talking about in Mexico, old Mexico, they shut down the cattle crossing, so you can't get those where those good bulldoggers have genuinely come from for years.
Yes, sir.
So it is hard to get bulldogging cattle.
Yes, sir. I like my steers sort of like I like my women. Big racks and big frame.
Thanks to US 94.7 Talking Country, us947.net.
No, that's
okay.
that's something you can say on the radio.
We can say that on the radio.
Yeah.
Can't we? Okay. He's getting a call over here.
He's
No,
talking
we're
about
good.
their horns.
Okay, yeah. Horns and the frame of the cattle.
Right.
So, anywho, but that's going to be from the November 17th?
November 18th and
18th,
19th. Yes, sir.
We're going to be there. I'm going to be there. Rump's going to be there. RümpChat's going to be there.
What about this? One of my favorite things about some of the old school bulldog and jackpots, Huddleston's at Tallahena, of course, Duval's in Shakota, some of the newer jackpots, the Cross Family jackpot in Kingfisher, Oklahoma, is the matches. And the coolest thing about that, if at the matches, it could be during the jackpot, like if me and Hambone have like a beef, I can go, hey, you want a match? And then we'd match 3 head, where I run 3, and then we switch, and then we switch cattle where you run the 3 I ran, and then I run your 3. And people would match like at Duval's. Like
I'll match you.
anybody that wanted to match could match.
Can we match?
Yes, sir.
Can
Will
Rump,
there- will there
can
be
Rump
ma-
and I match?
I'm not going to
Yeah.
match. My knee is not ready to
I
match.
hereby match. I want to match Justin Charles Rumford to a 3-head steer wrestling.
Or we could do shoe dogging. We got,
No.
I'll even shoot dog at the Jimmy Powers Memorial Steer Wrestling,
Yes, sir.
November 18th and 19th in Ozona, Texas.
Yes, sir. I want to thank the Chamber of Commerce for all they've done for me and the business people around there. But
And all they're gonna do.
we're really trying to do something for my granddad. He helped out so many people, and I think that's the only way you can honor him.
Well,
Absolutely.
have you ever seen the video of Blake Mindeman running a steer in his underwear in Shakota?
No, sir, I haven't.
I've got a picture of that. And also, there was I don't know if you want to do that there, but there's actually a video of Jordan Holland running a steer in the nude on a calendar.
Yuck.
Did you see that?
No.
That's true.
I would not want to see Jordo naked.
It was just from the back. It was actually kind of funny.
I'm glad they have good dirt there because where I live, that kind of be rough.
But will there be matches if somebody wants to match at the jackpot?
I'm sure we can talk to the stock contractor, and I'm sure they can get it on.
Because I remember like Duval's, and I don't know if you ever went to Duval's
That'd be
when it was
awesome.
at
Yes, sir.
Roy's
I've
house.
been. I love it.
When it was outside,
I had never been then.
when it was outside, it was wild. I remember when the Bulldog and Jackpot got over, people were out playing cards and rolling dice until the Bulldog and Jackpot started the next day.
Yes, sir.
And that's back when you would get
200 bulldoggers or more.
Yeah. I mean, I think jackpots have kind of went down a little bit over the years, but it seemed like back in the day there used to be 50 guys that did a pro rodeo that would still enter jackpots.
Yes, sir.
And Bulldog and jackpots are always the most fun jackpots to go to.
Well, I mean, when you get done rodeoing, you can always train horses and make a living that way.
Yeah. Did you ever go to Eight Idols in Newcastle for that jackpot, the world's richest Bulldog jackpot?
That's a little bit before my time, sir.
Yeah, that was. But like that one, that one was amazing.
Matt's told me
everybody
about that.
came.
Yes, sir.
People that didn't Bulldog would come and enter that because it was so awesome.
Really?
You know, I mean, everybody stayed for the whole weekend, and I mean, it was just, I don't know, it was kind of magical because there wasn't no, after it was over, there wasn't no party, like, which I love your idea of having a party, but like all the Bulldoggers would just hang out and just be together, because when you think about normal rodeos, I'm up Friday and I'm up here Saturday and here Sunday, and they're in and out. Where at the jackpots, everybody would come and stay, and like you could really hang out and have some fun with the other people.
Yes, sir. I really want the guys to be able to do that, and I want them to be able to bring their families and also do some stuff for them.
So is your jackpot / party? It's at the fairgrounds in Ozona.
Yes, sir.
Is that I've never been there.
It's the best arena in West Texas besides Sonora's.
Really?
Yes, sir. It's sandy and got a good sized arena, and it's kind of a lane. It'll be really good.
Be perfect for bulldogging.
Are you
Yes,
gonna have
sir.
the bleachers inside the arena?
Yes, sir.
Have you ever seen
That's
that?
welcomed.
That's what I love
I've
about
seen video
Duval's.
where they just like everybody's in chairs though, like
Yeah,
Yes, sir.
right
chairs
there.
and bleachers.
I
right
mean,
in the arena.
right there.
At Duval's, especially if your hazer, something happens to your hazer, the people are there to help you. And I've seen a guy run one off to the right and bulldog him just because he was, they had a line.
I really want to go to Duval's I've never been since it's been in the indoor.
Yes, sir.
And I'm a huge Roy Duval fan. Grew up around Roy. Roy's one of my rodeo heroes. Looking back, but that whole group, Roy and Spud and Sam and
Riley and
Tom
Spud and them have really kept that going, and it's a big deal.
Riley is a great guy.
Yes, sir.
He's an awesome.
Riley is awesome.
He is a stereotypical Duval, just a good person.
I'm telling you.
And
I'm proud to call him my friend.
yeah, Sam Duval is one of the coolest dudes ever. Sam Duval, he was,
We got to
always-
get Roy on here.
Oh, Roy would
How
be
awesome
great.
would that be? You talk
That'd be
about
good.
stories.
Yes, sir.
And Roy was in a little wilder time. You guys aren't wild compared to back in the old Wild Roy days.
Well, sir, sort of like my granddad said when they were young, the old pages on the law book were real thin.
That's
there wasn't many. And now there's a whole book.
That's
Big.
right. It's true. Guys talk about, man, partying this night. They've done nothing compared to what they did in the past.
Yes, sir.
I mean, sit with Bob Tallman for 10 minutes and listen to him, stealing a cop car with Mike Servey in Clovis, New Mexico. And they just called him on the radio and said, hey, bring your car back. We got to arrest some guy. Now you'd be 10 years in the penitentiary. And they took it to go get more whiskey.
or
Yes,
when they had Wiseman, steer wrestler, IPRA, great steer wrestler, Jordan Wiseman's dad, when he was in the top of a M&M rodeo camper back in the day, and he was sleeping in the parking lot of a rodeo. His traveling buddy kind of got drunk and got the munchies and drove to Sonic and pulled underneath the Sonic and smashed the top of the camper off
Oh, gosh.
with Jordan Wiseman's dad
Whoopsie.
in the front. And they went and
Oh, the
rodeoed.
camper?
Yeah.
Ooh.
Took the roof off the camper and rodeoed out it the rest of the week. Stayed in it
I believe
with a convertible style.
I believe my dad and Boyd have actually done foot races on the top of the Sonic in Uvalde.
Oh God, now that'd be something for TV.
So to go back over things, I want to bring everything back whole again here at the Buc Days, Pro Rodeo and the WCRA and what the WCRA does for these guys. I mean, put it in perspective. Okay, Sam, you win $1 million. You win 3 of the Triple Crown events.
Yes, sir.
You get $1 million.
Mm-hmm.
It's not a year-long thing. You just win the three of the Triple Crown events, You got $1 million in your bank account. That helps you go rodeo. And I mean, you can go, just go. There's no pressure.
Spreads it out.
Well, you can really get by on 500,000 in interest and spend the other 500,000. Yeah.
Well, I mean, it just at the end of the day, it helps you.
Yes, sir.
It doesn't maybe not quote unquote count towards,
But
but it counts big time because guess
My
guess
granddad,
what the bank only the bills only care about what's in the bank account and but it just helps in life. It helps in going to rodeo and take that pressure off. I got to win so I can keep going. It
Yes,
gives
sir.
you that freedom.
My granddad always said, and we've been around plenty of world champions, you can take those buckles and you can take all the saddles you want. You can fry them, you can grill them, you can put mustard on them or ketchup. They don't taste very good, but you can put some money in your pocket and you can live and you can buy whatever you want, hamburger, whatever.
That's right. I had a wise man once said, your godfather, he said when I was in a conundrum at rodeos, and he said, pull up to a gas pump and tell them how big your rodeos are. See how much gas that gets you.
Yes, sir.
And it made a lot of sense. And I've repeated that to young guys. It's a business.
Yes, sir.
Do you want to be cool? I'm blessed. I've got a lot of big rodeos. I can say this from that side of it. But again, it's a business. And when money talks.
Yes, sir. You damn right.
And money helps you walk.
If you listen to the first part of several different songs when they talk about money, tell me who this is. Dirty, rotten, filthy, stinking rich.
Warren.
Yes.
She's
yes.
my cherry
Good work.
pie. Cool
That was
drink
a
of water,
test.
such a sweet surprise. Isn't that
you
about
know-
a dancing girl?
What's that?
Is that about a never mind. Anyway,
Especially being a younger guy, I tell you what's really helped besides money, but being around guys that have been there before you. I'm really thankful for the older veterans, I guess you could say, that have really helped me out with
Like guys in
everything.
their 40s? Is that what you're trying to say?
Yes, especially the guys in their 40s. I've always said, and I tell this to Matt all the time, it's like Yogi Bear said, if I could have him at 50 and listen and watch and sit with him, I can learn a whole lot more than trial and error. And I'm not as hard as I'm on myself,
Oh, I guarantee that. And I think that's one thing where I don't know, just from an outsider looking in, sometimes like I have thoughts about contestants. And they're like, well, what do you know? You're just a rodeo clown. I know that, but here's the thing. Every week I'm at a rodeo and I'm watching and I see different people and I'm like, man, that kid's going to make it or that one ain't. But I feel like there's so many times when the younger generation, they don't get as much from guys that have been there, done that, because like, oh, well, I'm going to do it my own way. When they could take and learn, because look at Stockton Graves. He's 43 and he's
an animal.
He is.
Stockton is still. I would match him against anybody going.
Stockton, Matt, Hunter Cure. Who else? Who else is in their 40s still?
But I think too, though, Sam, it's not always that like when you get
Curtis Cassidy.
When you get to that age, I don't know if it's all that your body is give out as much as you're just tired of rolling, of going hard. So looking at the deal here, Cody Cabral, I love that guy. Tanner Bruner's up tonight. Take Vidstad.
Kansas.
Yeah. You're up tomorrow night.
Yes, sir.
Which I don't. There's some of these guys I have no idea who they are, which is great.
That's the beauty of the virtual rodeo qualifier.
I think that's awesome. It's
They're going to be gone to 2, 3, 4 jackpots and some IPRA rodeos, and here you go.
Yes,
They're in here for big, and they're eligible for big time money. This event pays out over $500,000.
Yes, sir.
So you're out tomorrow. May 12th is going to be awesome. Riley Duvall, Denver Berry,
She sounds hideous.
Bridger Anderson, and Gus Franzen. I really like Gus Franzen.
Who doesn't like Gus?
Yeah. May 13th,
Good name.
Cody Devers, Balka, Oklahoma, Northwestern Oklahoma State University Cowboy.
Yep, Cody Devers doing good. Well,
Thank
tonight,
goodness y'all are pronouncing it right.
Devers.
Oh, I know.
Not
His
Devers.
brother got really mad a week or two ago.
Yeah, his mom messaged me one time. It's like, will you please tell the announcer to say his name right? I'm like, I'm not a part of that. So, but yeah, great lineup of steer wrestlers right here. And if you go to the website or the Facebook page, They're actually pretty awesome right there.
Yeah,
Telling
big
who's
time.
up each night.
You know, they've been here since since last weekend. You know, the PBR had the Velocity Tour, which is kind of like a Division II to the big tour, the PBR. But I mean, amazing. But Josh Frost won it, and Josh Frost is an amazing. He tied a calf in and Angelo Slack and I think he was like the low 8s. I mean, he smoked a run. Like, that guy's a cowboy.
Yes, sir.
You know, there's a difference for our
They learn the
listeners who
steer
don't
wrestling,
know.
too.
Just because guys are in rodeo doesn't mean they're a cowboy.
Yes, sir.
You know, I mean, there's cowboys and then there's rodeo cowboys.
I feel
and
like-
it's a big difference.
I feel like a lot of ways, the further we go, the more we get arena athletes instead of people there to have fun. I mean, I live
That's a
5
good way to
miles.
put it.
I live 5 miles away from the closest person to me. When I get to town or get to a rodeo, I'm ready to talk.
Yeah. How old is your house? I've seen video of it.
It's great.
How old is it though? I mean,
1920s.
yeah.
Yes, sir.
You imagine that rock wall.
2 foot thick. Yes, sir. It's
I
great.
bet that nice and cool in the summer.
Warm in the
really.
winter and cool in the summer.
That's right.
That's just living in West Texas right there.
That's right. Well, man. Well, thank you, Sam, for coming by. Sam Powers, everybody. He's our rodeo lineage that goes deep, 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 and we can't wait for November.
Yes,
The
sir.
Jimmy Powers Memorial, November 18th and 19th
Yes,
in
sir.
Ozona,
Yes,
we would
sir.
like
Texas.
We would also like to invite anybody there would like to come and tell Bad Company rodeo stories. We're
Yes,
going to try
sir,
to work
that'd be
on
great.
that.
Anybody,
I know
come.
David's already said he's coming. He's already booked a hotel room. But, honestly, before I leave, I'd like to just thank everybody that's helped me and in my life, whether it's in the arena or on advice or anything. I wouldn't be where I'm at without them. And thank you guys for having me on this show.
I'm
Absolutely.
excited.
Long time coming.
And thank you to
We'll do it again.
Thank
Yes,
you
sir.
to Red River Arenas for making this podcast possible. Great round pin sets right now. Awesome roping arenas. If you want a bulldog, man, go
Good
to Red
horse
River
stalls,
Arenas. Yeah, they got all kinds of great, and they got specials going on in the summer. So rope in your own backyard, bulldog in your own backyard, or be like JB Mooney. Get you a set of Red River buck and shoots and put up. So
They'll even put an ashtray on the top of the buck and shoots if you need it
yeah,
for JB.
yeah. And even though the JB quit drinking Bud Light lately, but that's a whole nother story. So
Now that's a huge thing. But anyway, so
oh, he's drinking beer. He's drinking
it's
beer.
Gold Buckle beer. So
Gold
thank you,
Buckle.
Gold Buckle. Don't forget tonight here locally if you're listening on 94.7 Talking Country, we're going to be 7:30 start here at the American Bank Center. The center and arenas always throw me off because there's American Airlines Center, American Airlines Arena, two different cities.
7 o'clock.
7 o'clock.
7
That's what I
o'clock.
said.
Yeah, that's what he said. If you get there at 7:30, you'll be late.
Yeah, if you get there at 7:30, you're a loser. 7 o'clock, there is a carnival. There's food. There's so much stuff for the family to do. So come on down here to the Buc Days. We'd love to have you down
Sam
here.
will be mic'd up tonight.
Hey, at least come and watch the bulldog or rope with the calf ropers. I mean, that's got to be worth its weight in gold.
Yeah.
Who's that?
Me.
You're roping?
Yes, sir.
Oh, and you can rope.
Yes, sir. And
I've seen
thank-
it. Like I said, I've seen you in the double mugging.
Yes, sir. Word Hudson let me borrow his horse. He just had a baby yesterday, and congratulations to him. Is healthy, and but like I said, thankful for everybody that's helped me. But yes, sir.
All right. Well,
A
thank
rap,
you.
a slap, and a tap. Here
That's
we go.
right. RodeoPatch.com. If you need any rodeo patches, RodeoPatch.com. All right, WCRA, check it out. World Championship Rodeo Alliance, giving away a bunch of money. We just thank you guys. RümpChät.com. We've got our merch is popping and hopping. RümpChät.com. Go order you something.
Every
It'll
day
be-
we'll be here, right here in Corpus
Every
Christi.
day, right here at noon. Brewsters, thank you guys so much. We love you. I'm going to go eat some shrimp.
Get it while it's hot.
Bye.